Hey everybody. So every single day this week, I want to release an article on dev.to about the Quasar QTable component, because there's just so much to it. I don't think it would make sense to do it in one article. You know, you could do kind of like a summary article of QTable, but I don't know. I just get a bit addicted to this kind of stuff, and I tend to want to dig a little bit deeper. By the way, if you're watching this and you haven't already checked out quasarcomponents.com, definitely go ahead and check that out, because I'm about to release a ridiculous offer on that site. And I mean ridiculous. And all of the money is going to go directly to helping with the development of Quasar. So anyway, the title of this stream, I've been having a lot of Soju. Here it is here. And it's a Korean alcohol that I absolutely love. It's great because I'm not a big fan of things like Recorder Link or like apple, like cider alcohols, because they tend to be a bit too sweet for me. And this tends to just walk that line perfectly. So I love it. And you just put it in like a little cup like this, or at least that's what I saw them do in the Korean dramas. That's why we're drinking it, because we saw it on a Korean drama. So my girlfriend went and found some. So I'm really excited to sort of dig into this and write some code. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit tipsy, but ready to smash out some code. So let's have some fun and sort of see how this works out. All right. So once again, this is for the QTable blog. Let's open that in Visual Studio Code. Get out of this bad boy. By the way, I'm just about to hire someone, preferably someone who's got like a little bit of social media skills, to help me do some bits and pieces here and there. So if anybody's sort of interested in that, maybe send me a message in whatever way you desire. I don't mind how you send it. Yeah, just to help me do like social media posts for my podcast, edit the podcast and stuff like that. Anywho, see if I can sort of kick my brain into gear. Oh, there's a new update for VS Code, but not now. I'm doing a stream. So run Quasar dev there. I won't create a new component. Oh, maybe I should have a new component. So we might just make a new page for each thing. And this is basically the stuff that I'm going to be doing. So set up data and columns. So how about we say like Quasar new. Oops, it's here we go. We've got that showing up now. Yeah, how about we say new page, and we'll give these different pages maybe for each blog post. So maybe I could say like post 1. No, let's be a bit more descriptive. We'll say set up data columns for the first page. That's going to be like our first example. Did I do something wrong there? Why didn't that work? Quasar, I got to say new page. So let's say Quasar new page. Nice. We'll do another one that's going to be called expandable rows, selectable rows. Basically, I'm going to have one for each blog post. We're going to do one on loading state, pagination. These are kind of like related, loading state and pagination, and sorting. So it's going to be another blog post there. And then we're going to have one that's basically going to cover all of the different slots, And some of them are just going to be mentions. Oh, we got somebody who's in. Say hello. Man, this Soju is going straight to my brain, and I love it. Okay, styling to the nth degree. So let's just call that styling, I guess. That'll do. Styling, and then the last one we're going to do is aggregators, rows, and average row. Aggregator row and average row. Now, for each of those pages, we're actually going to have to reference them in routes.js. So let's go ahead and get all of that done. We've got our index, and maybe on the index page, we'll kind of point to all that stuff. So let's go source, and then we'll jump into pages. And we want to do these in order. So I'm going to start from this top. The first one is set up data and columns. So let's come in here and, oh, we need our comments in there, our commas. First one is set up data columns. The next one, if I scroll down a bit on my bottom screen here, is expandable. Maybe I can just like right click, rename, copy that. Yep, so the expandable rows one, a loading state related one. So let's, oh, I can just copy the name. Is that going to work? Oh, it even grabs the dot view. That's kind of cool. So it's a loading state. We'll need a couple more actually. What else have we got? All the slots. That's the next one. Copy name. Paste that in there. And then there's two more, styling, and then the aggregators one. So we'll go copy name for the styling one, and then the copy the name for the aggregator one. There we go. Have a little sip of my soju, whatever it's called. Oh man, that's good stuff. It's just the right amount of sweetness. It's not like sickly sweet, but it's got that beautiful plum taste. Oh, love it. All right, so that's gone ahead and created all those pages. Did I run? I thought I ran QuasiDev already. Oh, I did. So some weird page showing up there. All right, so all of those pages are done. We'll have to give them names now. So what I might do, I've got a plugin here that's basically going to allow me to easily turn these into, I don't know, some kind of case. What case do I want here? I want the one with the dashes, which is kebab case. So let's convert all that to kebab case. Actually, let's convert it to kebab case and then copy it, because then in index.view, I want to be able to point to those files, so that's going to be easy in the blog post. Hello, Emmanuel. We've got our first comment, and it's from YouTube. So let's say q-list, and I usually like to set a width on this. So let's say width is equal to maybe like 350 pixels. And now let's say q-item, and then we can say v-4 is equal to, I don't know, item in, well, let's just say menu item in maybe page in pages. Yeah, let's go with that. And then we'll set the key equal to something like page.title. I reckon that'll do. And we'll say q-item-section, and then we can just whack directly in there the page.title. I reckon that'll work well. Now let's come down here and we'll use setup. Thank you, composition API. This is exciting. I love using the comp API. Even though it doesn't make a lot of sense for these simpler examples, I still like to use it some, just sort of like a force of habit now. So let's say const pages is equal to, and how are we going to do this? We'll make these objects an array of objects. All right, so I'll go ahead and paste all of them there. And I think I can do this. If I select down like that and say page, I want to be able to select to the end. Where's my end key? End? Oh, it works. Sweet. So I can turn that into a string now. And then we can come down here and basically say this is an object, and that's going to be the slug. Yeah, we'll call that the slug. Then I can come in here, close that off. And what else are we going to need? We'll also need the title. And I might actually be able to use the slug there. So let's just paste all of that in there. And then for each of these, I'll turn that into a sentence instead. Sentence. This is a really cool extension, by the way, the one that allows me to go Control-Shift-P and just change it to a sentence. It must be called change case or something like that. So go ahead and download that if you want to make it really easy to just change between all these different cases that we often have to deal with as a web developer. Sweet. Sentence all of that, save it, and we're going to need some commas in here as well. Boom. Okay, looks like that's working. So let's go ahead and expose it now. Pages, that might be it. That might actually work now. My app, here it is here. I'm just going to open it in such a way that I can easily open it with my hotkeys. I have to do some fancy pants stuff. Yeah, now I can easily sort of switch between the two. Just whack that over there, jump out of full screen here and whack that over there. Nice, very nice indeed. Where am I? Index.view. I'm not saved properly. Oh, because I don't actually need ref. I'm not actually using it there. Save it. And there we go. We've got all of those in. We should be able to turn them into links really easily. I think I can even say here 2 is equal to And what was it again? It was like page.slug. Save that. And of course, I want to make these clickable. Work? Did I spell that right? Okay, the clickable actually wants to be in the item, and I think maybe the 2 does as well. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to have 2 on an item section. So let's go ahead and whack that up there. Oh, and of course I need to go to ESLint. Where is it? ESLint. Get all my linters working nicely. Restart the server now that I've done that. And the cool thing about that is when I save it, it just does a whole bunch of really nice formatting. All right, sip my soju. That's good stuff. Oh, I can probably get rid of that quasar component. No, let's leave the quasar components.com banner. Have a look at what. Let's see if I can make it smaller though. Maybe like default. What does that do? No, that's big. Minimal, bubble, block, minimal. Yeah, okay, I kind of want it to be smaller, but maybe I'll just look into that later. See if I can find a way to make it smaller. But let me know if it's annoying and I'll get rid of it. Just, you know, you got to market your stuff so that people know about it. All right, so my linter always gives me errors on Quasar's default error page. So I just jump into that page and save it, and then everything's green. Cool. So now set up date. All right, that's not working. Looks like that endpoint is correct. Let's go to our routes file. Oh, I didn't save it. Silly boy, Luke. All right, now I can click onto each of these and it'll take me to that page. So that'll be a good experience for people that are using this. And now we can say set up data columns, jump into here and start playing around with some examples. So what I might do is I might also open up the Quasar documentation, go to the QTable component, and we can start playing around with this. Woo, sip my soju. Oh, that is good stuff. So I guess the first thing to do is throw in their Q-table component. Misref. I don't know what you mean by that, Emmanuel. I don't. Oh, if you're saying that I missed the ref, I don't actually need to ref this. The reason I don't need to ref that is because it's static. There's no reason that I'm ever going to change this data. And so in those cases, it's safe to basically just set the data directly and not use ref. And it's going to work just fine. Ref is only when we need reactive data. I don't even actually know if that's what you were saying, but you know, a lot of people might not even know that. So anywho, let's throw some data in here. We're going to have some simple data, and we might call that table data. So it's really easy for people that are looking at this blog post. And it kind of annoys me though that by default I don't get this. It doesn't automatically wrap it in define component. Here I've got define component here. That basically just gives me a little bit of extra typing when you do this. That's all that does, by the way, this define component. It just gives you a bit of extra typing with TypeScript, so it's easier. So if I say setup, for example, notice that I get this setup thing here on my drop-down list, and I can click on there. Yeah, that's why it's nice to use define components. So you get that extra bit of typing. All right, so how about this? We say setup. We're going to return some data here. Part of that will be the table data. And now we have to come up with some data to play around with. And I might stick with the theme of using the names of my dogs and maybe my girlfriend as well. It feels weird though, because I don't want to put my girlfriend amongst my dogs because it sounds like I'm calling her a bitch, which I'm totally not. She's like a lovely, adorable girlfriend. So I don't want to create that association, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so let's say, actually, I want to show them to begin with that you can just use data. I think there's a way you can do this by saying like directly putting an array of data, like let's say ID, name, email, and age. Let's go with that. I think that you can actually do this with Quasar. So we'll say 1 there, 2 there. The name for the first one will be Panda. Second one will be Lily. Email of Panda will be panda@chihuahua.com. Lily's will be lily@chihuahua.com. These are not real emails. And Panda, I think she's like 6 and Lily's 5. Pretty sure that's their ages. So let's come in and have a look at this to see if it's working. Okay, and it's not. I think I do actually need to give it an array of objects. Sip my soju and continue on here. So compilation error. What's this all about? Cons table data. What doesn't it like there? Oh, I use the equal sign. We're getting green, but that's still not working. So it looks like I do actually need to use objects here, and that's not a big deal. We can go ahead and do that. So we can say, for example, ID one, name, we'll set that equal to panda, and then email, we'll set that equal to the email that we had there. Cool, and then I'll do the exact same thing for Lily. And so basically I want to show them the most minimal example possible, right? Because I want to show off that Quasar basically makes it really, really easy to have a super simple example. Sorry, to have super simple code to create whatever you desire, but it's extensible to the nth degree. That's kind of like my big shtick with Quasar. Right, that's still showing up as nothing. From memory, I actually can do this. So what's going on there? We've got data. We might have to, I thought you did have to add columns. Maybe you do need to now. What else can I do to test this? Let's close out of that, open it again. Okay, so it looks like I do actually need to add in some columns there. So let's come down here. And we might actually do this inline. I don't see any reason that we actually have to use the comp API here. It's going to be super easy to show it in a blog post if I can just do it like that. Yeah, I think that's better. And then we'll just get rid of this here. And now we can come up and say what the columns are as well. Columns is equal to, this is going to be an array, columns. And then we'll have in here, we want to have the name, and we'll set the name equal to, the first one we'll say name, I guess. We'll set the label, I believe the other one is, and we'll set that equal to name. I think that might be the minimal that we can use. So let's try that. And what else have we got? Let's do another one for email. Email, set the label equal to email. So you know what? We'll make this first example as ridiculously simple as possible. Still telling me that there's no data. What's going on there? Oh, because this has changed. I believe it's rows now. Oh, that's right. In Quasar version 2, that actually changed. So this is going to need a field, and we might not even need name. We might just need field. So let's try this. Field is equal to email. Save that. There we go. That is actually working. And I might even try that old example again. So let's say, for example, here, name, email, and then we'll say panda. And I just want to get an example going. So let's just do this to begin with. And we'll say Lily there, save it. And I want to get rid of the columns. Cut that so that I can use it again. Yeah, nah, that totally messes up. However, let's try this though. Let's try that without the columns. If we can sort of guess what it is then. Okay, so there we go. So that works. We've now got a minimal example where basically you just show some rows. Drink some more soju. And so I might add a comment up here saying like basic, most basic example. And what are we going to do next? After we've got a basic example, and let's comment this out nicely so it's easier for whoever's watching this to see. Let me just turn the heater off. It's getting hot in here. So that's the most basic example. We also want, let me scroll to the top and look at my notes up here. So we show data, and then we'll show specifying columns. Specifying columns. We might even call it custom columns. Word specify just sounds really wanky to me. Some columns. Cool. And then we're basically going to grab the exact same example, keep it super simple here. And now we can say columns. And then the most basic example possible for columns. And you'll definitely want to have a label in this example. So let's set the label equal to dog name. And then the field equal to name. That's good. So label dog name, field, and then we'll say email, dog, and then we'll just say email here. Field is equal to email. And there we go. So the next thing I probably want to do is say, for example, class is equal to, we want to separate these sections a little bit. And we can do that by saying, what was it? It's, oh man, I'm blanking now. When you want to separate a whole bunch of things, it's a gutter. Yeah, gutter. So let's say q-gutter-media maybe. There we go. Let's change that to an extra large just to make them a bit more separated. Nice. All right, so we've got a couple examples there. What's the next thing that you want to do? We'll probably look at the Quasar docs and see what else they've got in columns. So let's say QTable, and then I'll decide what I want to show in my first blog post for the columns, because if you go too much here, you just tend to overwhelm people. Let's say columns. Go. Right, name, unique ID identifies column. That might confuse people to begin with, but it is kind of important. So yes, we will include the name. Oops, spelled that wrong. So name is equal to name. And here, we'll say the name is equal to email. And I'll explain to them what the name actually means later on. Label, we've already got. Field, we've already got. Required, no, that's very specific. Align, yeah, actually align is pretty relevant. I use align quite a bit. So let's say, in fact, what we might do to demonstrate align is to also add in the age. So let's come in here, and then we'll say age, and Panda is 6 and Lily is 5. Age, and then the name of that is age, but then we'll say the align of that is probably going to be different. Numbers are often different, where you might align that to, well, maybe the left. Let's have a look at this example. Yeah, okay. Hang on, how come they're aligned to the left and then these ones are aligned to the right? You might actually align them all to the left. To be honest, that's how I usually do things. So let's do that. Let's align them all to the left. Show what that looks like. And then maybe age could be aligned center. That actually might work well. Yeah, all right, there we go. So that's done. Looking good. What else have we got here? I'll go full screen with that. Whether or not it's sortable, I'm going to save that for later on. The sorting algorithm, sort order, format. That's pretty handy. So let's say, where would we use format? How about this? Format. We'll take in the value and then we'll say, we'll spit out that value. Let's change that from value to age. Age, or does that give me the row? I think that might actually give me the row. So let's say row.age, and then we can say here years. It's a good example of a format. Undefined years, okay. Maybe it is just the age that we get in there. See what that does. There you go, 6 years. All right, so that's an example of formatting. What else should we keep? Style, no. Classes, no. This is all kind of stuff that I might actually save for later on. Then you got visible columns. No, I'm not going to use that either. Okay, so that's a pretty good starting example. Now, I also want to show people how you can have a title. So how about this? We come up here and we just do the title there directly. So let's say the title is equal to my chihuahuas, my chihuahuas. There we go. So that shows them how to do a title. What else have I got here? I want to show them dark mode as well. So I might actually copy this entire example here. Now we use the basic example to show them dark mode. We come in here and say dark mode is easy. So there's a simple example, and then we can say dark. Save it, and there we go. Now we've got dark mode working nicely. What I might actually do is wrap all of this in a div and set a max width on it. That's just going to be a nicer experience, I think. So we say here, for example, style is equal to, you know what, I might actually say class is equal to full width, but then we'll say style is equal to maximum width. So the optimal viewing width, that's how I like to think of it in my head, is 650 pixels. That's what I think. When I see the word max width, I think optimal viewing width. There we go. That's good. It just needs to be centered nicely. I don't know what happened there. So we got that gutter in place. It looks like the gutter isn't working anymore, though. Oh, of course it's not, because it's in the wrong spot. I'll put it there now. So let's copy this, paste it there. Is that going to work? Yeah, there we go. We just need to center it all now, otherwise it doesn't work properly. Class is equal to flex, and then we'll say justify center. Cool. All right, that's working nicely. Is it? Why are we getting, the gutter doesn't seem to be working. I think with the gutter, we have to use q-col-gutter or something like that. No, that certainly didn't work. Probably don't even need the gutter, to be honest. No, the gutter's actually nice. It makes the examples work out more nicely. All right, so what else have we got? Once we've done the dark mode version, come back in here. Actually, no, I'll look at my bottom examples here. Removing pagination, bottom of table, and the top of the table. Okay, so how about this? I want to remove pagination. I'll do that in this example as well. How about we say pagination? There's a way you can basically say get rid of pagination. Here we go, pagination. I think you set rows per page equal to 0. Oh, that's the label. Pagination. Maybe we can say rows per page option. Set that equal to array with just. No, that doesn't really make sense. I guess you could do that and then just hide the bottom. Yeah, so then let's see what would happen if I had a bunch of examples. They're all going to show there. Okay, that's what I wanted. All right, so that's that example done, which is going to show when basically you just want to show everything, but then we can say hide dash bottom, and that's going to show them that you can just do like a really basic table with no bottom, no title or anything like that. And yeah, I think that's about it. What else might I show in the first podcast? Not podcast, sorry, blog post. I'm just going to sort of go through these here and see if there's any very basic stuff that I can sort of show people at first. This is all styling stuff. I'm going to go through styling later on. Yeah, oh, this is all very basic stuff. Columns, content. No, honestly, I think that's about it. Loading, hide header. Oh, maybe hiding the header. But we don't actually get a header if we don't have anything in there. Yeah, so that's very specific to if you want to hide, toggle the header on and off, even if there is something in there. You know what? The separator, I think, is particularly useful to know. So we can say horizontal or cell. So let's come in there and set that equal to cell. Oh, you can't do comments like that. Yeah, just so that it separates it a little bit more. So that's worth adding in there. And yeah, that's it. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. So I think that's everything I need for the initial blog post. We want to keep it super simple and a great way to basically explain what Quasar, basically how basic it is in order to use Quasar's QTable component to begin with. So yeah, thanks for sticking along with me on this live stream. And I will see you in the next one where we, I don't know, explore something else in another live stream. All right, thanks for sticking around, guys. See you next time.